Yeah, 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 yeah. What's up, my people? What's up? What's up? Turn that off. What's going on, my boyka? Welcome. Warhub. Bienvenido. And welcome, y'all. Listen, this one is titled The Prerequisite, right? Funky Friday. We're gonna keep it funky, funky, funky today, yo. And had a pretty interesting night last night, with a couple of these podcasts. And let me tell you something. People say, "Oh, it's trolling and trolling." Always, you have these weirdos and yeah, weirdos on the internet with crazy emojis and names, but they hide behind the internet. They hide behind the comments, and they're always trying to start something. And yeah, it can be agents doing it, or they could just be. I'm telling you, in the hands of these young jids, the hands of these young weirdos. And you know what? Us elders, yeah, I had dropped the ball a little bit from back in the day, but we're here to clean up this mess. And so I'm involved. I'm learning a lot about diplomacy as an ambassador, diplomacy. So I've gone into different podcasts, right? Because again, you have to look at the broader picture, and you gotta learn how to communicate with people. You know what I'm saying? So this is like a project for me, and coming on the internet and actually getting on certain podcasts. And I have met some very good characters and personalities on these podcasts. But again, there seems to be those, that's what I call trolling. You know what I'm saying? A troll. Because you hide. Troll, small. You hide behind a name, an emoji, and you hide. And then when you're challenged, it says, yo, come on the screen. If you disagree with what I have to say, be man enough or be woman enough to come on the screen and state your claim and your scenario. Vent at me if you want. It's only on the internet. You can vent all you want at me. You know what I'm saying? So this seems to be, again, YouTube. But all YouTube is not the same. It just seems that when it comes to sharing knowledge, it's only on a certain demographics and sector. But when you try to come in and share your knowledge to another sector, which is suppressive personality, the majority, especially a lot of Hispanics and blacks on the internet, are exposing themselves, revealing their suppressive personality. These are people that were raised by antisociable people. These conditions that came by way of slavery, colonization, you know what I'm saying? The educational system, being brought up in a neighborhood like this, look back behind me, being brought up in a neighborhood like this and seeing destruction all around you, it grew a suppressive personality. The person suppressed. So they latch on and they suppress other people. And they sit behind, now with it's easier for them, especially the millennial, it's easier for them to on their phone or sit behind computer with their little mouse, sit behind the computer, right? And throw shots. But never, never, never coming online. Never coming on. Showing their face. You see, I show my face. I show my face. I'm an open book. I come on the channel. I say things that I have to say. And again, I share because I'm learning also. So I share knowledge. And that, some people don't like that. They want to keep everything total, say, gangster. That's not real gangsterism, man. That's not real gangster at all. I've seen the most afraid pendejo in the street pushed to a point. that he goes and he grabs a weapon, a gun, and starts blasting motherfuckers. I've seen that. The one who you never expected to come out here and blast people, you know, because antisociable personalities made that person insane. That's what antisocial personality does. It makes people insane around them. Suppress personality. They become insane. They can't take it no more. You're suppressing me. You know what I'm saying? So listen. Ah! About to get it. About to get it. So yeah, trolling, the whole thing about clout chasing, that's first started appearing on Instagram. That first started appearing when in the industry, the music industry, you had individuals and groups, organizations taking their antisociable behavior, drug selling, harming the community, making that bag and not caring about any repercussion of anything, right? Taking that, right? That underworld mentality, that drug dealing and stuff like that, and taking it into the music industry. Again, and started a lot in LA with Suge Knight, Def Jam, what is it? Death Row Records. Look at that, Death Row Records. This was a culture. Bloods and Crips and this and fighting East and West. This is suppressive personality. Now, I'm not saying everything is not peachy peachy and everything perfect. And there's people that they love, they're attracted to that because you got to look at their lives. They lived a suppressive life. I've come from that, and I know many of us. But it doesn't have to be that way. You can change. And talking about gangster, man, a true gangster takes care of his community and doesn't harm his community. And if you're going to be involved himself in the underworld with criminal enterprises, that is done on the DL. That is done separate than your community. You don't shit where you live. That's what they always say. Real gangsters don't shit where they live. They don't. So I question people. I'm learning about a certain personalities out here, well, and even amongst dear people that I've taken a liking to on this internet, on this YouTube and Facebook, because I wanted to know the character and personalities that's out here. Because you see, I grew up around people like that, and I was suppressed. It led me to drugs. It led me to not finishing things that I started. It led me to harming my neighborhood, drug dealing. It led me to things, and I had to learn from that. I had to learn. A la mala. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. So you got a lot of suppressive personalities out there, people with YouTube channels, and people getting on, and again, they hide behind the computer. You see, if you don't want to make yourself known, at least interject things that are positive, okay, into humanity. But if you kind of come and interject negative or criminality or that whole, bro, I don't respect Bloods and Crips if they not doing things to help their neighborhood. If they're out here shooting at each other and beefing, right, and destroying the neighborhood, you don't get no respect from me. I'm a general, y'all. I'm a general. You got to think like a general. You got to think like the hierarchy. General. In war, there are generals that lead the charge for good causes. Lead the charge. You got a lot of pawns out here. pawnee weirdos out here on the internet. They don't think like a general. You see, learned men, spiritual men, learned men, craft men who are of certain crafts are your generals. Even in the military, those are your generals. They go to West Point. Where you think they teach them in West Point? Certain crafts. They learn certain crafts about the art of war and certain crafts. Learn. They got to read. They got to comprehend. They got to reason things out. But you got small-minded weirdos, pawnee, that's the new thing. Pawnee weirdos out here that are just soldiers running amok. Running amok. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm learning. This is what's being exposed in this day and time. This is what's being exposed. And for future generations, man, we got to nip that shit in the bud. Nip it. And I don't care if I have to come on the internet. Wherever I walk, I make sure everybody's safe around me. Wherever I walk. And you ain't gonna know if I like my man's case. So you ain't gonna know if I'm carrying a Roscoe or have I have access to Roscoe in my house. You ain't gonna know that. Because when I come at you, you see, a real gangster, when he's gonna come at you, you ain't gonna know. He's gonna befriend you so good, and you ain't gonna know. That's real gangster. That's real hitman. You're not gonna know when someone's gonna hit you. You walking the streets with your neck on swirl. And that's what happens to a lot of these internet channel, these pawnee weirdos. They get on here, they amplify themselves like they're the baddest gangster out here. They got the most stories to tell about jail. They got the most stories to tell about the streets. They got the most stories. They're lit. Forget it. You cannot tell me. But yo, you're just a drop in the bucket. There's many like that. You're just a little drop in the bucket, y'all. You're missing the whole picture. And there are generals out here. That's right, Zay. Anybody can, right. It's not the gun that kills the person behind it. Anybody can have that. It's how you use it. A gun is not good or bad. It's just how you use it. You can use it to protect. You can use it to survive. You can use it for hunting. There's many things that you can use a gun for. And then when you're going to use it, understand. You see, I was taught by generals, bro. You got to understand one thing. That, and even in real gangsters to tell you that that's an expense, bro. Because now when you body somebody, that is on your conscience, bro. You got to live with that. So you better have done it with the balancement. This is for the greater good. You know what I'm saying? You could be in a neighborhood and somebody's just being so detrimental. Everybody and the whole, you know what I'm saying? I've been in situations like that I had people on the block coming up to me and my uncle coming up to us talking about, yo, we need to get rid of this dude. You see? A constable's hole in the neighborhood. And this person had no clue, no idea. That's real gangster. And I'm not saying that I am a gangster, and I'm not saying that I'm a real gangster. And I don't label myself that. But if it comes to war, I'm a general, y'all. A general. By Scholarly Institute when I wanted to be ROTC, and also by being an elder, working with a big stick. That stick is used to draw boundaries. It's used also to knock you in your damn head and teach you a lesson. And it's used to also boundaries. You cross that line, you're gonna get smacked if you
Ow!
cross that line. Good. Yeah, you gotta protect your family, bro. You gotta protect your family. Exactly. Make sure that it's in a safe place. It's locked up. There's a key. There's it's in a safe place that you know no one is gonna take it and harm themselves. And then when the time comes, you got to get busy. You got to protect your family. It depends on the neighborhood you at, and you got to protect your family. Yo, that's part of survival, bro. That's the good part of survival that we have. By all means necessary, we're gonna protect our family. And I tell my children the same thing. You protect. If it gets to that point, you make sure that you are ahead of the game. You got to be ahead of the game. You know what I'm saying? So this, what they call internet beef. You know, all the like again, all of it started in Instagram. These punny weirdos. They hijack the music industry because they want the clout. That's what clout is. They want that celebrity. You know, they want to be that celebrity. They want to be that clout. You know, see, he's got clout. They want to be that celebrity. And so, what he does, he think he thinks that by him creating, because he understands the algorithms of YouTube, he understands how this negative narrative gets him more views. So that's clout chasing. It gets him more views. You know what I'm saying? Those algorithms. Because then another demographic would say, you see, they're savages. You see, they're savages. They don't know how to take care of the community. So you know what we have to do? We got to get them out of here. And we need to take over those communities and re-gentrify them so that we can put a Starbucks in there, right? We could put a library, a Starbucks, a Ross, or a Marshall. You can go shopping, a pottery yarn. We could put, yes, safety clips is the best way to do it. Safety clip, but you get yourself like a locker thing, you know, like a safe thing. Make sure that is in there. You know what I'm saying? Just for safety measures. We have ours locked up in a box. You know what I'm saying? That only few people in my household will have the combination to. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you see, on Instagram, it was an op. It was an op started by Tashaki 69, an op, an internet op. He figured it out. The streaming, got paid by streaming, became the first. He said, I'm the best artist to be streamed. And so when he gets all those views and all those streams, now all the advertising companies coming at him, coming for him, saying, yeah, yo, we need to, we'll give you this bag if you allow us to put our advertising on your particular stream because you have such a large stream. See, that's how money is made, bag is made today in the industry. But they control that. They control that narrative. They control that negativity. They control that suppressive personality. They're seeing it that, yo, they're antisociable people, so they want to see everybody antisociable. They're just a small percentage. Look at that brother now. Daniel Hernandez, the Shaki 69. Where is he now? What is he doing now? How is he streaming now? And he is so relevant as he was a couple of years ago. So now you're dealing with streaming. But now that's shaked up because of this whole, pandemic, is all shaken up. You know what I'm saying? So now streaming is becoming different. So a lot of these dudes, these pawnee weirdos, they figured it out. They figured it out. And then you got some good people out here, man. You got some good people. You can see a sense of goodness because generally all of us were good. It's just that again, conditions. There are some antisociable people that has been brought up like that, suppressive in a suppressive environment. And that led, and that's an avalanche, and it led and led and led. And then these people became your executive to certain corporation. And these people became also your YouTube channel celebrities. YouTube knows that. You know what I'm saying? But they will monitor all that stuff. You become monitor, you're going to make, they monitor all that stuff. Yes, yes. They can read. Now with the fourth industrial revolution, I mean, you got the Internet of Things. They can get digital platforms. They can read, get on a tablet, and yeah, they can read. They can read more, because reading, which I'm going to do this later on in another next week, of enhancing your spirit, or what they call enhancing your character personality. Reading is one of them. It's one of the skills that helps you enhance your personality. You see people when they read, that's why in the university, you read a lot because it enhances your personality. They're preparing your spirit. A spirited person, you look at them, they read a lot. You know, they can have conversation with people on certain things. You go to a bar, you're going drinking, and you're going to have a conversation. When the minute you start pop keywords in there, boom, you get the attention of this person, that person. Of course, again, around you, you're going to have that antisociable person. Nah, you talking crap. Nah, who believes in that? Nah, the world, nah. Sorry about that, but oh man, you get that, man, fuck. Curse words, cursing, spiritual detritus. They're called spiritual caca, spiritual debris. So all they got is fuck that, fuck it. That's spiritual debris. And I'm gonna do a whole section on that. It's what's called spiritual debris, spiritual caca, and the different ways that you get debris, the spiritual debris. It's caca that that comes out of character and personality. Spirit, what they call spirit. When I say character personality, I mean spirit. The spirit in something, it's its character and personality, right? So we get that straight. I define that. So from here on in, I'll use spirit, character, and personality, spirit. So to enhance the spirit, a spiritual person, you enhance the character and the personality. They're expanding, right? And then economically, intelligent, economic, right? Jay-Z and Puffy. Yeah, their building is in a totally different sector. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't let you know. A lot of them probably have interest in complex. Yeah, it's all about business at the end of the day for them, economics. And you're right. You're right. Yeah, yeah. You know, I'm sure it bothers Jay-Z. I'm sure it bothers them because they have children now and they see it. So I'm sure it bothers them. But you see, they know how the industry works and they know how this society works. But that's dying out. That is dying out. That's the way they got down for 10,000 years under the Babylonian rule, Greek, Romans, the societies around them, especially when they went into other civilized people and they suppressed them and downtrodden them. Now, in this day and time, they're in a whole different game of doing that. They're suppressing us through medicine, through the food, medicine, and again, through our music, you know, through the music. And those are, again, at one time, they were historians, right? Historians who was ahead of music record labels. They were historians. They went out to rural areas like the blues, or they went out to different areas where things was happening, right? And they decided to record it, right? And make a printing of it. Yes, never use the N word. That's okay. It's okay. Yeah, the way you speak. Yeah. I'm just reading the chat here. Say, I feel you, bro. Thank you very much for being. But yeah, you know what I was saying about the suppressive personalities. Um, um. So this, it's crazy. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't. And you know what? I meditated. So I think that it came at me like this because I meditated and the alignments of the forgiveness. So I've learned it in my heart how to move through life, not worrying about the suppressive personality, but learning how to forgive myself for any suppressive things that I have met caused out there to balance. Again, you have in the scale of 9, 7 positive and 3 negative. See, that's how balancement works. In 9, you can't balance 9 unless you got what? 4 and 4 and 1 in the middle, right? That's how you balance it. It's the one in the middle. So 9 is balanced by 5, right? That's just the daily mathematic linear. So it was an experience, but you know, so when you deal with clout chasing, again, that has been interjected into the internet, and these young kids, they ran with it because I'm telling you, it came through Instagram and the whole Tashaki 69 and his beef with Trippy Red and all this beef that he had. And this was a beef and going into cities because he's the largest streaming guy, and they put him in certain cities, and it's like, yo, you pull up in this city, you got to give respect. Like what happened with him with Prince Paul, I think it was in LA. You got to put respect. But all of that is staged. It's staged because they understand that, hey, we want to get this bag. We won't get this bag. We got to give them what they want. And who are we giving? Who are we talking about? Who's the they? Are those companies. Are the ones that sit, those antisociable people that taking these jobs, CEO jobs, and they're spreading their suppressive personality all throughout those jobs and those industries. So what I was talking about is that at first the record labels, the head of the record labels were historians. They were documenting certain music throughout the United States or throughout the world. Documented. They were historians, a record label. It started out with RCA, Radio Communication RCA Association, right? It started with that. So they were historians. This is the way they printed, they documented through this what the cylinders that were your beginning, your record label, your record, your recording of sound, these cylinders, right? I'm just gonna give you a little bit of history of that. Later on, when they started to record, these historians, part of RCA, and then you had other companies coming in, right? And they started to record concerts, um, classical concerts and concerts like that. And then they started to keep recording folklores and coaches around them, right? As it went on. But something happened around the 30s, the 20s, in the 20s, when you had a speakeasy and you had prohibition, and then people was out there in the bands, they're starting to form, musicians and playing at the speakeasy. But again, in the speakeasy, you got a lot of liquor. There was a prohibition, right? Alcohol prohibition. You had a lot of spiritual dieters, spiritual caca, or that in the personality became the norm. It's all the cigar smoking because they were like, hey, we have a right to indulge in whatever we want to indulge in. You know what I'm saying? So it was all about, hey, in the speakeasy, hiding, criminal, and that's when in the 1920s, and that's where you get the mustache Pete's, the mafia getting involved in that, the Italians, because they were delegated as to keep that on the world and keep that under control, and that was the economics in the 20s. And then the 30s, the music labels started appearing in the 30s. Then you got movie houses and starting record labels, and so it's shipped from the speakeasy, what they call the Charleston. When you look at the history and you look at that, and then it starts going into what they call jazz, swing time. You know what I'm saying? Again, it was still played at the speakeasies. It's still played on the underground. You know what I'm saying? But they were recording suppressive personality because the people at that time, remember, you had also the Great Depression. You didn't have too much of an economic, base. People was worried about the economics because you had the Great Depression, the fall of Wall Street, and this and this and that. That affected the music industry. You know what I'm saying? People started looking now for they're in a suppressive personality because the economical system broke everything down. So put people in hunger lines and put them in a suppressive personality. But all of this is orchestrated by those anti-sociable hierarchy because they were growing up in a suppressive environment that their parents gave them. You know what I'm saying? And then when this started to explode, they seen an opportunity economically to use that. So then you get prohibition, you get the alcohol, you get the alcohol, you get the nicotine, the cigars, and all this spiritual diet. It became an industry and it morphed into the music and on and on and on. One of the first records to speak about marijuana was a Reefer Man by Cab Calloway. Check that out. And on and on and on. And musicians now find themselves again, in suppressive areas where you have a lot of drugs. So you had a lot of musicians who became drug addicts. John Coltrane, what is his name? Charlie Parker, you know, Louis Armstrong with the cocaina. As he always had the handkerchief. You know what I'm saying? Billie Holiday. A lot of musicians at that time because it was interconnected. Again, the shift from the historians and now the CEOs have brought that suppress it because they were raised by anti-sociable parents that raised and they became CEOs. So the suppressive personality became the norm. The norm. You just look at the progressions of things, especially here in America. And as it goes on and on and on and on in the music industry, they got from, again, a lot of anti-sociable people in the music industry that were the CEOs because they were about cheating, lying, cheating, and taking advantage of artists out there because the artists were not trained and did not know anything about publishing, mechanical licensing, publishing, these rights that they had as artists, copyright, you know. It was very few. I think one of the first one to even own masters was probably Ray Charles, the blind man. When he came in there, I want to own my masters. Because that became the talk amongst a lot of artists at that time. Because they understood, you see, the CEOs of these music labels, a lot of them were suppressive personality. They were suppressive. They grew up in that environment. I know it was insane. The parties they were giving, it just went out of control. And now, when all of that morphed into hip hop started, yes, in a suppressive environment, but it was a way for these poets or these thinkers, poets, orators to document the environment and put it on into songs, put it onto a beat and so and so and so. Because at first your MC was just that, a master ceremony. It was just about put your hands up in the air, wave them like you just don't care. Ah, everybody say ah, ah. That's all the MC did. And then you had your DJ. I know because I grew up like that with Cool Herc up on Fish Avenue in Boston Road. That's mama narcissistic. Exactly. That's a suppressive personality. Part of it. Raul back. So in the in the beginning of hip, yeah. And such a suppressive personality too, because a lot of DJs, a lot of producers started birthing out when the 1977, I believe, was a blackout. And so what did they do in the hood? They went for the equipment. Yo, break into that store, let's get this equipment. And then all of a sudden everybody started popping up with what? Pioneer record spin, or the Pioneer ones, one of the famous, and all this different equipment in the hood. But then you see from the MC, it went into oral speak because that comes from 5%ers and kicking that knowledge. And now what's the mathematics of today? Ba-da-da-ba-da-da, and again, you know what I'm saying? And rhythmically, which the first form of rapping, also of poetry like that, was by the Henderson. There you go, there you go, pretty little baby. I'm in control. Frankie Crocker used to play that. He says, yo, this is similar. And when we studied that at NYU in class, I had music appreciation class. And I even brought in my record that I recorded in 1979 with the Funky 4 Plus One More, and I was on percussion. I brought that into class. And the teacher was wild by it. He was like, wow, this is beautiful. And so. So you see, so in the beginning, it went from the master sermon on and on. So as it progressed on and on and on, and this is what I was telling my brother last night, as it progressed on and on and on, when you had suppressive personalities coming out of LA with the NWA. I met Jerry Heller. I know the backstory behind Jerry Heller and how he made $100 million off of Eazy-E. And he was he had connection with a printing plant where they print records. And that's how he got together Eazy-E. But him and Eazy-E got together. He was rocking. He was jock strapping on Eazy-E, but Eazy-E, all the members of NWA they didn't get what they deserved. They were cheated in the beginning. They showed that in that movie Compton, and that's historical records, and they all said it. That's why Ice Cube did what he did. You know what I'm saying? But that's the story. But you see, that was one of the first group where they started, because, like I was telling the brother, listen, they changed the game a little bit, because what they did was they knew about these young kids in the suburb, these children of doctors and lawyers and surgeons. They were left. It doesn't. If you're a doctor, sir, doesn't mean that you're not an antisociable person. You got antisociable people, and they left their kids alone. There was so busy working and involved in their career, their children were alone, and their children got exposed to hip hop. And when NWA got in there, That started to circulate all throughout the suburbs. That's the reason why they had that big grand Supreme case. And then now the record label on certain content had to put explicit lyrics in this here warning. So as the parents of these kids would be like, you can't, like my mother used to do, my brother, no, 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 you can't listen to that here. That's got explicit lyrics in it. No, 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 no. Pick another record. And she took my little brother to the store, record store, and he wanted to get into Wu-Tang. She got him into Vanilla Ice. She got him into things, that was his first form of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? The pop, hip hop. You know what I'm saying? As to wait, when you get older, then you're able to understand this. You know what I'm saying? So Run DMC, the first group to actually go platinum in hip hop. Google it. It's Run DMC. They were marketing their way up there too, you know what I'm saying? Before NWA. And Run DMC had the hood mannerism, everything, but their records weren't so instrumental like that. Weren't talking about gang fighting and fuck the police. They weren't doing that. They understood the commercial side of things. Because remember, I went to school with Rick Rubin, and he's the one that started all that stuff with Russell Simmons. And so the class, you understand demographics. You deal with social studies. Peace, Bonyo, Dawn. Peace, Bondo, Boricua. Peace. You understand this. So to understand the stories, oral traditions, from a person that lived it, you see these young children or these, again, pony weirdos on the internet don't understand that. They're pawns. We got generals out here, generals and elders that lived it, actually lived it, saw it, observed it with our own two eyes. And we can see it, especially if you're involved in that industry. But you see, you get a lot of, again, pony weirdos sitting behind in the internet. And if you're going to say something just to cause some conflict, you're going to say something, at least have the cojones, the bar, to get on the feed, on the stream. Show yourself. Show yourself and say, yo, I don't like you, CeeLos. You think you know it all. I think I know it all. Yes, I do know the all. It's simple. The all is nature. The all in all is natural nature. I observe that. You can know the all. So they speaking English. Yeah, they speaking English and don't understand what they're saying. Their mind is not in order. They're not, again, because the tones, the English, the manipulating the angles. They were taught to manipulate angles, but they don't realize what they're really doing. It's because they don't study other languages. That's the reason why I interject another language into my podcast, the Sabiic language, because what that does, it gives you something to put the English against. It expands your experiences. Learning Spanish. I got brothers in Bondo who wants to learn about the Taino, wants to expand who they are. You got some really good people out here, want to expand, want to learn, just like me. I want to expand, I want to learn. So when I go into these other podcasts, I'm learning, bro. Yeah, I fool around here, do this and that. I'm learning. I am learning about our people and their character and personality. I'm watching. Son unos charlatanes. charlatans. You know what I'm saying? They even with Spanish, they're not even, they're not even expanding their Spanish. You have a lot of youth that grew up in the Bronx or grew up with parents, Spanish speaking parents, but they didn't speak Spanish because the English, again, the educational system failed them. It failed them. And not only the educational system, the family, the tribe, the community education, the community. It takes a village to raise a child, a village, a community, and this is what we lost. But when you got a community like this, like in the background, all shattered, destroy, destruction, leads you to a suppressive personality because these are anti-sociable people that created this condition. If not Hispanic, another race that because Hispanic moved into the neighborhood, they decided, I'm not hiring, no, I'm not paying the superintendent. I'm not going to pay for this extra garbage to be clean. I'm not going to pay for the streets to be clean. I'm not going to, you know what I'm saying? I seen a lot of landlords, it's slum lords, bro, in the Bronx. Slum lords. That's anti-sociable mindset. They're harming. That's evil. They're harming their environment. They're not letting people survive, and survival is growth. They're not letting people grow. Grow economically is very important. They're not letting them grow economically because when you get knowledge, you're going to grow economically. They're not letting that happen at all. Peace. Peace, everybody. They're not letting it happen. So what happened now? Regentification has to come in. And I'm not against that at all because, hey, I like Starbucks once in a while. Even though when you look at it, people tell you, oh man, that's evil because of the symbology and this and that. And I don't do caffeine like that, nicotine, because I know that's spiritual nitrate. Once in a while, I like my coffee. I'll keep it real with you. I like coffee. Especially I'm feeling down, but I want to get a quick up. I'm coffee. But I moderately do it. You know what I'm saying? And again, we like caca. Just look at the child. He throws crackers on the floor, he's gonna pick it up. You don't care. And you say, no, caca, caca. They don't care. We don't care. But it's learning, it's setting those boundaries again. You know what I'm saying? So I've noticed on this internet, because there's certain algorithms that are put out, demographics that are put out that leads to that suppressive environment on here. And it's okay. I can deal with it. I can deal with it because if you are a healer and you're a learned man and you're a student of its knowledge, you're gonna be able to heal it or offer an antidote to it. See? That's the lessons that we learned. Taking Bushwick, an area that was infested with drug deals. Taking a neighborhood infected with drug deals, drugs and prostitution and all types of stuff, and the neighborhood not, garbage not being kept up, and the trees are not being kept, watered, and the bushes and all that. To take a neighborhood like that and transform it and put shrubs out there, green, paint the buildings nice, you know what I'm saying? Put guards, your own police force in the neighborhood. Take out all those, tell yo. If you're gonna do the drug thing, you do it over there on the outskirts. But here, this perimeter here, is a safe zone. This is for children. It's a safe zone. We're putting a university here for children and a university for those who want to create the safe zone. That's the environment that I was privy to. Very important in this day and time. And on the internet, You know what I'm saying? I have other channels that I visit on Facebook. It's about learning. It's about learning. In Telegram, it's about learning something. You know. So again, you want to live your life like that? Okay, guys, you good. You could say if you want to live your life like that, man, and you feel that, oh, you gotta, I have patience. We have to have patience. Again, we have to have that part of us, that forgiveness, and knowing how to share and to receive things. So I can see the good in a lot of acquaintances that I met on the internet. I see a lot of good, but then I see a lot of suppressive personality. And if you're going to use that, at least use it as a teaching tool, and then come back and give a word of wisdom. Word of wisdom. You know, a lot of people make money. A lot of people with this suppressive thing going on. They take the bait, the bait. They take the bait like a fish in a school. Woo, woo. Take the bait. Take the bait and watch yourself struggle. I said, I don't do debate. That's another school. I don't do debates. And if you want to come and challenge me at any time, and it's not challenging, it's testing the spirit. Test my character and personality any which way you want to. You're going to have to deal with the consequences. Okay? And you can know the all, natural nature. You can know the all. You know? It's just that, hey, I'm 60 years old, and that's nothing. That's young. That's young. 60 is being young. I got elders 79, 80, 84 that I speak to. You know what I'm saying? 60 is young. But at 60, 41 years, when I was 17 years old, 41 years, I went out into the streets to teach, to propagate, sell books, teach, and propagate a particular science. It is what it is. 41 years of learning a particular school of thought, science. You got a mentor, a teacher, a master teacher, one who mastered the art of teaching, that taught a particular science. So that's what interests me. Not everybody's the same. That's what interests me, bro. And in those 41 years, I was able to observe things, and I was able to experiment. I was able to experiment with my life, experiment. I was able to experience. I was able to step back and look and think about it. Like right now on this internet, I'm experiencing YouTube, the chat. I'm experiencing this right now. We're all experiencing this. A lot of us do experimental things with it. You know what I'm saying? And we learn. And we learn. Yeah. So it's crazy, man. It's a wow. 50 we got. Oh, good. Good. 66. Wow. Listen, those are gems, bro. Zay, those are gems. Those are gems. It's wisdom. Because let me tell you something, even if you make mistakes, you still can learn from your mistakes. And you learn to say, yo, if I would have done that. So you learn the good and bad in the history of things. That's wisdom. That's wisdom. You know. And I can see, Bondo, Zay, you carrying with this wisdom because you know what's good and bad in the history of things. And this thing called the internet, and these things called debates, and these different channels, you know what's good. You can determine what's good and bad. But you got people that get on there that they can't weigh it out. It's negative. This suppressive personality is negative to them. It's negative. It's negative. It's negative. And suppressive personality people always bring, again, ad hominem, logical fallacy, like ad hominem. They start calling people, they start saying things about people that has nothing to do with the subject. Nothing to do with the subject. You know? Oh, I don't like that guy because everybody say this. Who's everybody that's saying it? And you don't like him? Well, hey, that's you. Don't necessarily mean it has to be me. Don't tell me not to like this dude when he has not done nothing to me. But watch, because everybody say he's like this. Well, who's everybody? Who's everybody that's saying this? That's a suppressive personality. They always do that. Always. And sometimes you got to have patience with people like that. They call you to see them and they do it in things that are insane. I love some of them, but I'm not even gonna mention his name, but I love my brother. But sometimes he does things way out of insane. But I'm patient. I understand why that's just happening to him. I understand why this is happening to him. It's because suppress it. Yes, Bondo, you learn to, right. You can avoid it. You can avoid it, yes. But when it's confronted with you, we have to learn, we have also have to know how to deal with that stuff and recognize it. But there, yeah, that's one of the ways you can avoid things. Definitely, no doubt. No doubt. Avoid it. You know. I avoid it also. When I chime in and I put myself in that frame of mind, is usually I'm acting. I'm I'm putting on a show. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting on a show. But it really, in the end of the day, to avoid that stuff, not a time. Because let me tell you something: when you start speaking out and you start making sense and you start giving them this narrative that like yo, and look at this picture, whatever, they don't like it. They avoid you. You avoiding them? Trust me, they're avoiding you because they can see that you got the light. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna avoid you. But it comes to the time in all, I'm talking about the big picture, all humanity. And there's some innocent people, the youth. When I come on here, a lot of times, I know a lot of brothers here are 50, 60, of my elders and stuff like that. That's cool. That's cool. But I'm really interested in about the youth, that other generation, a legacy of obtaining a legacy, especially my Boricua, Caribbean, all over in humanity, a legacy. We can't go down like this because again, that 1%, that 20% of the anti-sociable personality is running crazy out here. And but that's only 20%. We're 80%. We can lock it down. Yo, hold up. You destroying my neighborhood. You destroying humanity. You destroying everything around you. You know what? Destroy your own house. Don't come here to this house. Not in this house, damn it. I ain't going for it. And that's willpower. Not in this freaking house. You're gonna come in here and try to destroy my shit. Because I'm gonna purify that shit. I'm going, yes, Bondo. Yeah, yeah. But you see, that's wisdom, Bondo. Tao Taino. Hey, Maboika. Welcome, Maboika. You see, that's wisdom, Bondo. That's wisdom. What the experience you had and stuff, and then what you experienced, you say, like, whoa, man, you're able to say, man, I was part of the problem. But you're like, well, you know what? Now you're the solution. Because you know the problem. So now you are the solution now in this day and time. You're the solution. You got the wisdom and says, yo, man, I've been there. Yo, it's not what it all is to be. See, if you're going to glorify, for brothers out there, they're going to glorify jail, Rikers Island jail. If you're going to glorify that, and yeah, I lived this, I lived that, that's fine. As long as at the end of that, it's a purpose that's going to help community. Yes, Zay. I mean, we all done that. But again, remember, you realize you're destroying, but you realized you became real. Real. You became real. And you became wisdom. You're growing to be like Bondo, you're going to be great elders, learned men because you can see it. Now you can guide your family and the community. I've done this, man. Yo, 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 yo. You could speak that lingo. You could, yo. And then not to go out there and think you're a prophet and go out there. You got to be careful because a lot of people don't like that. You're dealing with suppressive personality, but if you do it very, very crafty, see, which I'm going to go into later on, craftiness. If you do it with that sense of craftiness, subtlety, craftiness, again, like the ancient Kemetic, the learned men had the serpent, the cobra coming up, bah, right? Subtle and crafty, which is nothing wrong with that. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be a great message and it's going to be somebody listening and you're going to save somebody's life. You're going to save someone's life in humanity. You're going to save someone in your family, in your community, your group, community, your church, your mosque, wherever. You're going to save someone's life. I'm sorry to hear that, Zay. Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, 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 yeah. Again, it's revitalizing, revitalizing our oral traditions are very important in our culture. The oral tradition. So yeah, our children, when they're young, get them to play an instrument and learn about music so they can put their mind in order. Then you give them nature knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Observe things around them. You take them to walks, take them to a park. What do you observe there? What is that? What do you observe here and there? And then you teach them economics. And out here in the world, you got to pay taxes. So over here in this house, you're gonna pay tax. And I brought that up to Pain, Latin Pain. Shout out to Latin Pain. I could see the progression in that brother. Okay. And so child asks you for $10. And you tell them, you want $10? Okay, here's a cup. What's the tax now? Oh, it's 0.8%. Okay, well, 0.8% of $10. Let's just say, I don't know, I didn't do the math, but let's just say it's $2. I take the $2 out. I put the $2 in a jar, put that away, right? Here's $8. But I asked you for 10. Hey, you asked me for 10, but everywhere you go and you ask for in a bank or whatever, they're gonna charge you tax. You gotta pay tax, bro. You teaching your children how to real life. You know? Yeah, Zay, great. To eat together, man. Great. Beautiful. That's another thing, yeah. Yeah. Learning how to eat together and learning how to bless the food. You know what I'm saying? Learning how to eat together. And pretty soon I'm gonna bring some of that stuff up. That's very important. Because eating is cultural. It's a condition. And what you eating is very, very important. So yeah. But again, so the jar had to $8. But I tell you, 10, hey, when you go out there into the street, when you go out there into the economic world, you got to pay taxes. So you're teaching them from the house or from the get-go. And then when it accumulates, you say, okay, here's your allowance. I usually when my kids were small, depending on their age, when they were 5, they got $5 allowance every week. When they were 10, they get $10 allowance. When they turned 20, it was like if you still want allowance, you're only gonna get $20. You know what I'm saying? That's how I used to do. Yes, break bread. Yes, very important. Very important. Very, very important. That's great, Zayed. Very great, great, great. That's great. Again, the experiences that you went through enhance your knowledge and your wisdom. You know, that wisdom enhance your knowledge. And now you're walking elder now. You know what I'm saying? Your eldership. When you're 52, you become a sheikh. 52 is an elder. But you know, you have young elders, 40 and on and on and on the way to become an elder for your family. Not to go out there in the street, let me tell you, and to be with the neighbor, because these young kids are stupid. They don't have respect. But if you can get to the parents, and sometimes the parents themselves are so suppressive, antisociable, well, then you avoid them. But your family, you got control. You got your family. And it starts right there. Yeah, I used to put on schedules for my daughters to wash dishes. You see, people that are brought up, people that are brought up in this suppressive personality, right? They don't have upbringings like that. Antisociable people, they don't. And I tried so hard with my daughters to not to limit the amount of that suppressive personality that I might have attributed and that mama's definitely attribute from her upbringing. So I used to put their schedule on the refrigerator door as to who washed dishes and who dries and who cleans. And then Sunday, the way I was brought up in my grandmother and grandfather, my mother's house, every Sunday, it was my turn. You clean the bathroom. Your turn to go in there, put on some shorts, go in there and clean that bathroom, and baby, spotless. It's the way we grew up. Kids now they don't do that. They don't do that. Clean the bathroom, and that's something that you say, okay, you need money. You want me? You want this? You want that? Well, you got to do the chores. He's autistic. That means he's very intelligent. He's ahead of the time, bro. Nice. He knows his prayers. Good, 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 good. And Zay, I'm gonna get at you because Arabic, the precursor to the Arabic was Sabiic. And that's why when you look at the Sabiic language, you see a lot of Arabic. That's what predates Arabic. Oh, my granddaughter wants to come in. Hold on one second, y'all. Let me show you my granddaughter. She's complaining. Got to attend to the children. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I gotta bring my granddaughter over here. She crying. Oh, she happy now. Uh oh, oh no. Oh, I smell Pampers. Kaki. They're gonna have to change you. Look at this girl. This is the future, y'all. And so I try to show her that, they're 2 years old, so it's kind of hard. But also, you can show them from at this age. Okay, you throw those toys all around because they throw toys all around. After a while, you can show them how to pick it up and make a game out of it. Pick it up, put it. Mommy, you stink. I'm sorry. Ay, your meal. Ay, your meal. She got the computer keyboard. All right, easy. I know you like to type. All right. Give me 1 second, y'all, because this girl needs. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Let me give a shout out to my boy right here, K Solo Rivera in the house. If you the real one, shout out to you, my brother. Shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? You know, you know, I was speaking about last night and how it was kind of trippy. But like I tell everybody, I'm learning, bro. I'm learning. You know, this is part of my ambassadorship. And I'm gonna talk to you about that in a way. Hold on one second. Load this music. When you start studying to be ambassadors, there's certain initiatives and certain agendas, certain things that you want to implement into communities, because there's an economic base. Mama, slow down, girl. There's an economic base. Ay, mío. It's my granddaughter. There's economics involved with it. You know what I'm saying? There's economics involved in it. And so I want to be able to say, oh, okay, in this community, we need schools, we need books, we need supplies. Mama, take it easy. Ay, Dios mío. Esta nena, she got her own tablet, but you want to touch my shit. And so you go into neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying? And you can enact, you can bring up these programs and the initiative, more books, the proper books. No, most of great grand. No, Zay, great grandfather. No, she don't have a great grandfather. My father is deceased. My on both her sides. Yeah. She's got a granddad. This is my granddaughter. One of them. This girl. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, Anyway, I love this girl. This girl's crazy. I got my other two girls. I got three young girls. One big boy, but three young girls. That's my granddaughters. You know what I'm saying? And they are a trip. This girl is a trip. Yeah, play with your tablet. Easy. You know what I'm saying? It's a handful. Yeah, it's a handful. You know what I'm saying? But again, what you teach kids at this age, they're spreading themselves. They're going around and want to start touching. They're spreading themselves around, right? This girl want to deal with the computer now, so we got her a tablet, and so she knows how to navigate to the tablet and everything and play those games and stuff. She still want to touch everybody else's stuff. You got two grandboys and one granddaughter. Oh man, Zayd, what? Tu tá aí, papi. Beautiful. So at this age right now, you teach them how to clean up after themselves, and make sure that your children know a little sign language too. You know what I'm saying? This means help me, help me, help me, help me. Help me, help me, help me. She's speaking now. She's in words. Say right, mama. Say Rahuba, Rahuba. Rahuba. Say what's up, my Boricua people out there? This is my Andalala. What's up, Boricuas? She's playing with the keyboard over here on my desktop. I don't got it on, but she's. But yeah, again, we have to break that mold. Because again, a lot of us been brought up in suppressive personalities, man. Antisociable people around us. No toque eso. That's so we have to no this here, don't touch that. So we gotta right that wrong. Boricua, lo vas, what's up, papi? We gotta we're alchemists, bro. It's turning your environment into gold, man. Make it economical, because economics is striving, is survival, right? So if you got a community that is so shattered, there's no economics. The shot is destroyed. These antisociable personality around us destroyed it. Also here on the internet, these antisociable personalities are going to destroy the economics. You make money off of this shit. I don't, But hey, I'm learning. We can all of us, reap the benefit of this here, because you have content that you want to share. But if you are sharing things that is going to destroy the neighborhood, easy, destroy the neighborhood, destroy the streams, you can't make that's not economics. You see, and this is what the hierarchies, those antisociable people, this is what they know. They don't want you to make the economics. So they put fear out here, false evidence appearing to be real. They put out that if I speak about gangs and I speak about this and that and this, and keep the beef going online, I'm going to make that bad. I'm in for the long haul. I'm in for the long haul. I do work right now in the UK, and I'm hoping one day they invite me over there to do a seminar. Then I can get the bag like that, which is only right. It's economics, and I can share it. See, I'm about sharing. Anything that anybody donates, bro, I share that. It's not for me. I have to look into things and pay for things, and at the same time, like people out here, on their Cash App, here's this, here's that, share. Which I want to bring this up. That's my Cash App. So it's like when you go, that's like the educational system, it's economics. And they're preparing you to be class systems for economics for the society. So here, the same thing. This is oral traditions. This is experiences, experimental experiences, oral traditions of reasoning that we're sharing here on the internet. We're sharing it. Okay? Yes, separatism is anti-socialism. Yeah, it is. Anti-socialism. Separatism. Yep. Easy, mama. Easy. Right? And that's a fact. And that's what's happened. That's antisocial. You can see that antisocial personality on chats. When you get on there, they're trying to separate. You got conflict with your brother? Trust me, there's a third party. And that third party is sitting right behind a computer in the back, in a computer, doesn't want to come online, doesn't want to come on the screen, in the back saying disgruntled or saying shit to cause you to go against your brother. Or to look at him differently. See, those are antisociable personalities. They call separatism. A lot of times they don't know the bigger picture. They don't know who they really are. Because when you start going into it and you start looking into your genetics, you see a big genetic pool of humanity. It's not only one special pool. A pool of humanity. Don't okay. No. La. Nut. And to be nut. Oh, this girl. Yeah, boy, yeah. And that's what you see a lot. We need to be a little more of that. And sometimes you just got to lay back, be patient. You know what I'm saying? Forgive myself. Because in order to forgiving you, I have to forgive myself first. And then I say like, I see where you're getting. I see where you're coming from. You're revealing yourself. You're exposing yourself. And I recognize it because I again, become cognizant of it, aware of it, because I saw it and I lived it. So I'm able to recognize and say, I feel your pain. I feel your pain. And listen to reason. Let's reason things out. Let's listen to reason. That's it. Let's reason it out. Listen to reason. It's okay. In the streets, it's like that too. With these gangs, back in the day, you had warlords, and it's listen to reason. Are we going to go at it at each other on this and that for this purpose and this and that? Because this, listen to reason. They have discussions before they have a battle. Civilization do that until this ain't time we come war. They have discussion first. And the generals get out there. I don't like what you said. I disagree with this. Well, let's reason it out. Why do you disagree with it? Why? Is it something that somebody else has said? Well, what is it? What is the claim? What is it that makes you disagree or have conflict with me? What is it? Or your brother? Or have conflict in general? What is it? Get to the core of it. Investigate it. Get to the core of it. That's how things done. That's real being King Latin King. Yeah, that's how things are done. You have a council. You have to sit down. You have to discuss it first. And then if it gets to a point where it gets to a point that is so anti-sociable, conditions suppressed, then we gotta clean house. Like they do in the mafia, bad blood. Bad blood. We gotta get rid of the bad blood. We gotta get rid of that. Is that what you're leading to? Is that what's gonna happen? Because trust me, there's more sociable and good people in this world than there are bad people. You don't stand a chance. You don't stand a chance. There's more sociable and good people in this world than there are anti-sociable people. Don't touch. So you're going to lose. Facts. You're going to be overcome. Overcome. You're going to dissipate. You're going to be destruction is anti-sociable. So you're putting yourself in a destructive environment. Even on the internet. You're gone. You're ghost. You're done. Like I said, I'm in it for the long haul. I don't only do this here. I do this wherever I go. In person. In real time. I've done this 41 years. I've done seminars in university and spoke about certain things. In science of mind over there in Orlando, Florida, where I was a caretaker of this big church. I had the second floor. That was my living quarter. And then I used to get down there and I used to give my seminars. I used to teach. Brothers and sisters can tell you, Ma can tell you, I taught Sabaeans, the Nuwapians. You know what I'm saying? We have had discussions. And not only taught, because we had discussions and we shared things. Take it easy, girl. You know? What's the standard? What standard you mean? What do you stand on? Is what principles you stand on. What values and qualities that you want to stand on. Standards could change. I mean, I'm reasoning this out, those of us. I'm just reasoning it out. And you're right. What's the standard? But just for the definition and the setting for communication purposes, we got to look at that word standard, right? Right? We got to look at the word standard, right? So, I don't know if you agree that standard, the word stand, where do you stand at? What qualities, and it's true of us, what qualities are there? What principles and what values? See? I stand on natural, Nupu, Happy Valley, natural nature, values. Nupu, what they call Nupu, values, qualities, and principles, because I understand that's an upward movement, a revolutionary movement that I have to stay up on for me, for my family, for my group, my tribe, for my country, for my nation, for the planet, for humanity, and for the solar system. That upward movement, that ascending reasoning is important to me. That's the standard that's my, you know. And so people got different standards. You're right. People got different standards, and that's a question. What is the standard? In this civilization, this society, the standards have changed. It depends on the community you at. There's standards. If you go on YouTube, certain channels, like the Library of Congress, certain channels, they have a certain standard. When you go online on Zoom with the African Kingdom Federation, there are certain standards, qualities, and principles, that protocol that has to be adhered to. Has to be adhered to. Because it's the progression, it's life, it's the survival of things, all right? Right? No? So that's a very good question, bro. And that's to make people think, Lovas, you deep. You make people think, oh, what's the standard? It's your standard, right? That's deep. I love it. Lovas, thank you for that. I love it. You know? You're completely correct. I can't see this thing over here. Listen, I'm gonna have to let you go. I got this one over here. She's to get to. So, and she is gonna put on a fit when I end this and I try to take her out the room. Oh man. See, that's another thing we got to teach children also, that there are limits in life. Certain things you don't enter. Me, with my room, the way I got everything hooked up in my room, my grandchildren, no. That's Baba's room. We don't enter into that room. Why? Because there's things there for their safety. And there's things there that it doesn't involve them. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Anyway, let me say hi. So let me let you go. All right. Peace and blessings to y'all. Let me do my outro. And I love you all. Thank you for tuning in, those that tuned in.